A couple blocks before I got home on my bike, I was hit by a car and I flew 150 feet and I died. I saw in the distance trees, a park with like purple illuminated lights. I recognized people, my grandfather, my grandpas. They were there to comfort and warm me, and my grandmas introduced me to everybody and introduced me to Jesus and Padre Pio. And I don't know how they knew them, but they sure did. And they told me to go home. Go home, Alan, right away. I was in a coma for a couple months. I'm still recovering, and I'll be recovering for the rest of my life. It hurts, like, every day. I'm healing to help people heal from whatever it may be. I just want to make people feel comfortable, no matter how I can. I heal others to heal myself. That's my new thing. I guess my point is to comfort those who are afraid, to be a little more at ease, because it's okay. I mean, dying it's not the end.
The A.J. Parr Spiritual Journalist Podcast.
We're here with Alan Stokes, and he had an incredible near-death experience. Hello, Alan. How are you?
I'm alive.
So this is your first interview, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me more or less about the accident, how it happened? What were you doing when you got run over?
I was with my friend Austin. I had moved to Michigan. I have no idea that I moved here. I woke up from a coma thinking I had been in California. I was still in California. And apparently I had traveled from California. I'd taken a bus from California to Texas and a train from Texas to Michigan. And I came here to build a house with my friend Austin. And we were out to get something at the store. And a couple blocks before I got home on my bike, I was hit by a car and I flew 150 feet and I died. And I was flighted to the ICU in a helicopter, and it was like a train wreck. I had a vision that I was in an ambulance and it was hit by an SUV or something, and I flew out of the ambulance and I had to get up and get back and get together with the crew, and like I wound up getting stuck in a jetty, like somehow when I flew out of the ambulance. I found in a jetty full of rocks and water, moving water, and the rocks had faces on them, looked evil, like they were trying to pull me down. And I got over them. I succumbed to the rocks and I got over them, and I saw in the distance trees, a park with like purple illuminated lights. And I ran over to the park, and inside the park, inside the row of trees, I was surrounded by family that had been passed away. And it was unbelievable to me, but everything was, I guess it felt right. So I didn't expect anything, and I wasn't blown away. I felt like I was at home, and I saw my grandmas and I saw dogs, all the dogs that I had lost or something, because I saw all my dogs. I recognized people, my grandfather, my grandpas, everyone was there. And it wasn't like they were there. They were there as people. They were there as illuminated figures, purple lights. And I just knew it was them because of the feeling I had. I knew it was my grandma Joyce. I knew it was my grandma Gloria. They gave me the love that they used to give me. When I was lost in that park with my grandmas, and I didn't know what was going on, and I was scared, and they were there to comfort me. And all of a sudden, they introduced me to this crowd of people. When I was there, my grandmas had calmed me down and made me feel at ease. And they told me to go home. Go home, Alan, right away. They were upset at me for something. And I was like, okay, I'll go home. A lot of people came into the park and everybody was there. Padre Pio was one of them. He came up to me after him, and Jesus came up to me pretty much at the same time. And my grandmas introduced me to Jesus and Padre Pio. And I don't know how they knew them, but they sure did. And Jesus, he gave me the feeling that he gives everyone, I believe, who believes in him, is of comfort. They introduced him, and he was an orb, like looked like an orb, but a person figure. And he gave me that feeling of comfort, and everything's going to be okay. Don't worry about a thing. And that's how I think Jesus is supposed to make us feel. It was just a feeling of everything's going to be all right. everything was going to be okay. He just gave me the ultimate comfort. He had a beard, he had long hair, he had a gown, but he was covered in purple light, blue purple, amethyst light, I guess. And same with Padre Pio. He just looked like a big man with a beard, like a real big man. And but it was all light, so it wasn't like me or you and or my mom and I in clothing. It was like light. It was all light. And they were saying the same things that my grandmas were saying. It wasn't really like a saying, it was a feeling that they had given me. Go home. Go home, Alan. Jesus and Padre Pio. And yeah, they were there to comfort and warn me and give me hope and tell me to go home. Like everyone was there. People I don't even know were there. Like I saw every person on the planet Earth, I feel like, for a second, and they told me to go home like they would, and they were serious, and they had help. And I have this thing called familiarism because everyone seems familiar to me, like I've met them before, and so that's kind of fun from my near death experiences. I feel like I've seen everyone before because I kind of have, I guess. I went to a different realm, I guess, the astral realm, and I was floating the whole time. So I felt like I didn't feel like I had legs or arms. I was floating, and my grandmas were comforting me. I got arms around the back and everything. Like I felt all the love in the world, and it was the best feeling in the world that I've had so far. So it's all good. Well, I've never been Catholic, so when I was introduced to Padre Pio, I had no idea who he was, and he just seemed like Jesus. It was the same to me, I guess. Both of them seemed like the same person, but they were both different entities. I don't know where I heard of them or what I heard of them. I have no idea, and I sure do love him. And he's a theatrical guy who had stigmata and loved Jesus, and he had an ability to heal people. And Padre Pio put his hand on my head, and it felt cool. Like it felt good. Like my head was actually being brought down to the right temperature because it was so hot. And it made a very relevant difference, and it saved my life. And then I woke up on my mom's birthday, and I squeezed her hand, like from when Padre Pio put his hand on my head. It was like time to wake up. And then I woke up and squeezed her hand and impressed all the hospital ladies. I was like, Jesus is real. Jesus is real. Jesus is real. And I couldn't even believe it myself. I couldn't even believe it myself. When I told my mom that Jesus was real, she couldn't believe me. None of my nurses or physical or my PTs, none of the people in the doctor's office believed me. And I didn't even believe me. I was like, Jesus is real. Jesus is real. Jesus is real. And the way I looked on my face did not look like I knew what I was. I didn't believe what I was saying. And so it was really weird. I don't think it mattered that I saw him because I think that he is me. He is you. He is a part of all of us. And I almost know that for certain now because I don't think he came to me. I think he took me over. I think he possessed me and took me over and healed me that way with Padre Pio's help. I was an atheist and stuff before this, and I didn't know my grandmas were still there. I sure hope they were, and I'm right now. I'm not really scared of much anymore. My worries got erased because I know that we're surrounded with love, and I know that for a fact now, and it's just like my ease has been uplifted. I feel so much at ease. I was an atheist, a full-blown atheist. I thought when you die, you go to the dirt, you turn into mulch, and you become the trees, you know? That's what my grandpa believed. He's like, everything in your brain is, when your brain dies, you lose your brain. So where are you going? You know, what are you going to do? You want to have a brain. So I believe that, but now I know that on the other hand, he was up there and I didn't see him. I didn't see my grandpa George. I saw my grandma's. I saw his wife. I didn't see him personally, but I know he was there. I hear him every day. I hear him and my dad and my grandma's every day now. I know it's them. I know I can't prove it, but I know it's them. Comes in as a thought, but I know they're here. So that was one of the best things that ever happened in my life is now that I'm not curious anymore. I'm opened. I'm aware, conscious.
You
I,
had severe brain injury. You also had multiple fractures in your spine, and you were bruised all over and had massive bleeding.
yeah,
How long did it take for you to recover?
I'm gonna be recovering for the rest of my life. But my 2 year anniversary is in a week. I was in a coma
Oh,
for a couple months on June 17th, 2023, a couple years ago. I woke up from my coma and I squeezed my mom's hand the first thing I did and said, "Happy birthday, Mom." I think because my grandma's told me, or someone told me, I'm still recovering and I'll be recovering for the rest of my life. But 2 years is pretty darn good. And I've been focusing my attention on spiritual energy healing and also my focus on physical healing. Like I go to physical therapy a lot and I keep I'm keeping it going and I'm doing it every day. My mom came directly here the moment she heard I was injured, and she came right away. And she's been through hell and high water just to ease into this beautiful state of Michigan. And she was scared more than any mother could ever be because her son was dying. And so she's been my actual angel. Like I love you, grandmas, and I love you, Jesus and Padre Pio, but you don't compare to my mom. And so yeah, she's the best part of everything. And then the whole thing that I have therapy and the thing that I'm working with therapists and recovery is it's everything to me now. It's what I want to do. I want to become a physical therapist or a occupational or whatever I can do to help people who've been put in the same situation. But random accidents are no good, strokes are no fun, and brain damage is only permanent. It's pretty hard to get back, you know? So I want to help people been going through any kind of similar situation to get through it like I have with love and friends and family. And that's all I want for the rest of the world. And my brother Nick is here to help me get in shape too. And so I'm working at it. It hurts like every day. Every day kind of sucks. I feel like I've died every day. But it's a great it's I feel like I just kind of fast forwarded my my learning. The information I was getting as I was growing up has been fast forwarded, and now I know that the spiritual realm is definitely real, and there are lots of uh, there's a lot more to this life than humanity. That's for sure, and more than my bones and my body.
do you still maintain contact with Jesus, Father Pio, and deceased ones?
Yes, I talk to my dad every day and my grandma's every day, no matter what time it is. And Padre Pio and Jesus, I have a night prayer that I do, and it's just simple, thanking him. And so I thank them every night before I go to bed, before I go to sleep. And I ask if they'll see me up there in my dreams. So haven't seen them yet, but I'm pretty aware they're there. It's like if you, as long as you're conscious about it and here, then you're good. If you're conscious about your, beliefs in your heart, then you should be all right. As long as your heart's connected to your head, there shouldn't be a problem.
Who were you before the accident, and who are you now?
I was a punk rocker on drugs, a lot of drugs, and now I'm a hippie trying to hug trees. That's pretty much what happened. Now I'm a lover and not a fighter, and so it's pretty cool. But I'm still some scum don't wash out, as I'd say. But yeah, I was a punk rocker. I was hooked on everything you could name it, and everything but heroin. I never did, and I never will. But I was on drugs, and I mean, listening to punk rock, being a punk rock, being a scumbag, being homeless. I've been homeless for 2 years now. I'm not homeless anymore ever since the accident, but before this, I was a homeless person living in my vehicles, living in my truck, living in my car, living in campsites. That's what I was doing. And my mom brought me to Texas. I don't remember doing that. And because I was living I was living on the streets of California, and it wasn't going to be good anymore. And so I came out to Texas and then came to Michigan because my mom drives me nuts. Yeah, but I don't remember any of that. So
Were you always an atheist?
not always. I mean, I've been spiritual with my dad and my mom, and I was raised in Christian churches. And I, my grandpa Jack, he just got me because he's an economist and an atheist. And he persuaded me that the brain is all that matters, and if it goes kaputs, then what's the point? So now I don't believe him. But I've always been going to church. I've been to Mormon church with my dad most of my life, and my mom takes me to Christian Calvary Chapel. And so I had an understanding of it, and I had my family who had brought it to me, whom I loved, and then I didn't I didn't believe it, but now I do because when I died, it all came to realization. It all came true. So
What happened when you started sharing your experience with other people? Did they believe you or what?
everyone thinks I'm crazy. That's not new. Everyone believes me, but they kind of have a roll in their eyes, you know. I don't know. But I keep saying it, so eventually they'll catch on. And now I have a new thing where when I tell people about my near-death experience, I'm like, "You were there, you were there, you were there," because everyone was there. For some reason, it felt like I was in the eternity of like everyone. Like I felt like I was connected to everyone on Earth for some reason. So I think that everyone was there. The whole planet opened up for me. It saved me.
Did you know about near-death experiences before?
I haven't heard of them before. My mom has been following them since her mom died, so she's been very well aware of them. And you, um, I'm learning. I'm learning about everyone that has it in common, have something in common with me. IAN's International Association of Near-Death Studies is something that I'm getting into. I want to get into. But I'm just sitting at home as a broken man with a broken back and a broken head. So for now, I'm not doing a whole lot. But I want to. I want to. I'm gonna get a bunch of books on mediumship and spirituality and whatnot, and see what I can do, and see if I can better myself to help people, improve myself to be a better helper. And I had a couple of friends that my mom had been reaching out to, the near death experience community, and all her sentient friends, or all her friends that are into the afterlife. She's been talking to them, and one of her friends saw me in the afterlife when I was there, apparently, and he told me it was my mom's birthday. And yeah, his name is Alex. He's in Europe or something, but he's apparently good enough to have been able to see me and tell me what was my mom's birthday. And so I know that we're all connected. I know that for now, for sure. And it's as simple as love. I guess what my version of heaven would have been was been to be surrounded by my family and my friends, and that's what I was. Is so I had my version of heaven already. I think I was there, and surrounded by loved one and friends is all I ever want.
What would you tell someone who is afraid of dying or recently lost a loved one?
I'm sad that other people are so afraid, and so I guess my point is to comfort those who are afraid to be a little more at ease, because it's okay. I mean, dying it's not the end. It's not dirt and trees. We don't turn into the earth. We become her.
How would you comfort them?
I would show them love, as much love as I possibly could, and whatever they want. Like that's all I would do. Is what can I get you? What can I do for you today? What can I do? And let them know that I don't know what you believe in, but you're not alone. Doesn't matter what you believe in. You're gonna be all right. You're not gonna be alone, and it's not scary. So it's whatever you believe in, I believe might be what you get. I was surrounded by friends and family, and I was told to go home, like I had been to many times in my past, and that was awesome because it felt familiar and it felt recognizable and comforting because it was my grandma's telling me to go home, and I was like, if I don't, I'm gonna get in big trouble. So yeah. Yeah. I heal to heal. I heal myself to heal others. I heal others to heal myself. That's my new thing. That's my new thing. I speak to my dad every day and my grandma's, and I know they can't hear me, but they sure can hear me because they're there. They're sitting with me right now. I promise. I'm a whole lot more spiritual now. That all my worry kind of got subbed away. All my worry got subbed away.
What is your message for the world?
Just when you heal yourself, you heal others, and when you heal the others, you heal yourself. So you heal to heal. I don't know. That's my whole life now, is I'm healing to help people heal from whatever it may be. I just want to make people feel comfortable no matter how I can. I want to go back to school. I want to go back to school and become a therapist. There's a school out here in Michigan called Delta, and they have a 2-year program to be a therapist assistant. And I want to do that. And I have to get my high school diploma because I'm a high school dropout and all that. So I chose drugs instead of success. Whoops. But yeah, I want to go back to school and become a therapist is what I want. And I want to become a Reiki master too, because I love energy healing. And so I'm going to school. I'm going to Namaste over here for my Reiki instructions, and I'll learn from anybody. Marie Terry is awesome, and yeah, that's I want to heal to heal. That's me. I'm getting stronger every day too. I'm not a wimp. I'm not a wuss.
That's great. That's great. I think you have a great future ahead of you. Are you glad you shared your story?
Yes, very. I'm excited to see it. I don't know what I look like or sound like, so I'm sitting on into my bed and on a very weird chair, and so this was good. Please reach out to me if you have any information or if you have anything that I should be learning. I want to know. I'm an open book, so that's, I guess, just tell everybody that.
How can people contact you?
AlanStokes75@gmail.com. And you can also give them my phone number if you like, AJ. That's up to you. But yeah, they can contact me on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I'm Alan Stokes. I'm a guitar player, or I would be. So, and yeah, if you ever want any information, I don't know if I have much for you, but I'm glad to help you if I can.
Hi, I'm Paul Perry. I just finished re-releasing a book I wrote with Dr. Raymond Moody in 1990. The book is called Reunions. I want to thank AJ Parr for helping with the technical aspects of doing this book, doing the layout, and he had great advice on how to do a new cover, which he did, and it's beautiful. And all the technical aspects of reissuing a book and how to use Kindle Direct, which is a wonderful service, and communicating with Kindle Direct. But he was also more than that. It was moral support. He would read through the book, he would fact check, he did proofing for the book, and he made a number of really brilliant suggestions for editorial changes. So I highly recommend working with AJ Parr, and I'll be doing more books with him in the future. So thank you, AJ. I'll be dealing with you a lot more.
If you're interested in publishing your book in Amazon, contact me, and my publishing team and I will lend you a friendly hand. Send your email to ajparbooks@gmail.com. That's ajparbooks@gmail.com.
Stairway to Heaven, 25 near-death experiences about our encounters with God, Jesus, and paradise. Journalistic research on real cases by AJ Parr.
I looked down. There's no body. There's no me, but I felt just like me. And my first thoughts was, wow, this must be heaven. The whole Bible, Jesus, God thing is really true. And I said, if you were praying and you talk to God, it's just like that. It's God, you need to send people back so they can tell people it's real. Send some back. They have no idea this is real.
So there was quite a bunch of activity that they were doing during this time. And so, I know they were working on me really hard, but the whole time that I was gone, I went to heaven. So as far as what I was experiencing, it was wonderful, and I was able to see God and to see Jesus.
I turned and I said to this one leader character who had come and collected me, I said, "Who are you? Who are you exactly? You're not the same as these," because he was not the same as the other angels. And he seemed to be the one that was emanating this incredible love more than anyone else. And he just looked at me and said, "I am the one you call Lord." Now, for me, there's only one person in all of history that I call Lord, and that's Jesus. And this was Jesus that I was sitting in front of. And that really did overwhelm me at that point.
I remember feeling all this light, seeing light all around me. And I was just like, when you're in a deep state of meditation, when you go so deep that you don't see what's around you, you just become one with the light. So that's what happened to me. I became one with the light.
At that point, I was turned upward, my spirit was, and I was aiming towards the sky. And I saw a beautiful, bright white, but it isn't a white that we can describe. So it's the brightest light you could imagine here on earth, but without being blinding.
"I cannot die right now. You take me back. I have a lot to do right now." I said, "No, you make a promise to me and you need to fulfill your promise. So welcome to heaven. From today, you're part of me and part of all of them. From today, you start walking with me and walking with all of them. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, and that's what I'm going to unite the whole humanity again." And then he said, okay, he put his hands around me and said, "Let's do a live review."
I just really became fascinated with the light and became just the joy and the love of God and just the peace of God just began to wash over me. And I just began to look at my arms, and it's not a light like you just turn on. I mean, this light had like particles. It was just like moving and just covering my arms and my body.
When I was enveloped with that bliss and joy, at first it was all just a bright, warm light. And then it started to like settle down and take form. And it felt like I was in a cathedral, maybe with the marble walls and high ceiling or something, but it was still kind of misty looking. And I know that I had looked over to the right and I saw a good sized, like an architect's table with a great big huge book, like a huge Bible or something, open about halfway. And I remember somebody telling me what was in that book. And I believe it was my life. And I was only halfway through.
Stairway to Heaven, 25 near-death experiences about encounters with God, Jesus, and Paradise. Journalistic research on real cases by A.J. Parr.
This has been the A.J. Parr Spiritual Journalist Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe.